third in the playoffs. In the Minnesota net, Don Beaupre, who at 5'8" and 160 pounds is 6 inches shorter, 30 pounds lighter. A big man for the North Stars. He shut out the Blues in Game 5, and his 2.16 goal average is second best in the playoffs. And we are ready to go. Seventh and final game of the Norris Division Finals. And the puck is shot into the St. Louis end. Ramage fires it out. Intended, and now Sutter sends it in to Fedorko. Fedorko chasing with Craig Levy on him. Fedorko circling. Out to the point, and Terry Johnson can't hold on. He bats it in, and it is an offside quickly on St. Louis. In this series, Gary, the team that has started the best in the first period generally has had the upper hand.
That was something that both coaches were talking about once again before tonight's game. So often happens. We've talked about it all through the playoffs this year. First goals mean so much. They give you confidence. They give you the attitude going in and continuing during the game that, well, you can at least put something by the other guy.
Paul Holmgren shoots it in, and Liut steers it aside. The veteran George Ferguson puts it side of the net. Liut doesn't let it get any further. Well, injuries certainly favor the St. Louis Blues. They have none. Here is a look at Paul Holmgren, who is one of the injured North Stars player. He's playing with a partially torn ligament in the knee.
He was very determined that he was going to give it a try tonight. Take a look at number 44, Steve Payne. Getting back to Holmgren, he is a very tough competitor coming across from the Philadelphia Flyers this year.
Steve Payne for the North Stars right in front as Brian Bellows fans on a great opportunity, and he is pinned into the boards by DeLorme is in there, Wickenheiser is in there. Puck is still loose. Right in front and checked away. And now the St. Louis Blues come back. Babbage along with Wickenheiser. And the steal is made. Minnesota acted. And the shot is blocked off the stick of Maxwell. Maxwell plays it around. Bellows looking in front for Payne. Acton is there. The shot goes wide. Minnesota putting the pressure on. And it is finally cleared. St. Louis trying to take some of the heat off. As Lindgren touches the puck, and we have an icing called against St. Louis. For our local systems, we pause now. Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way on USA. The face-off coming in the St. Louis end, and it comes out to center ice. The Blues try to put on their first attack. But it's Tom Hirsch from Minnesota. As the North Stars come in, Brent Ashton, number 17. Dennis Maruk, who's been the scoring star for the North Stars. And it is cleared out to center ice as Mark Reeds, number 15, gets his stick on the puck. But back comes Minnesota. Maruk, the shot. And Liut makes the save. Ashton. And it's in the corner. St. Louis having problems getting it out. Flet with a check. And now it comes into the Minnesota end. 17:50 remaining in this first period. It has been all Minnesota. Another icing call against the St. Louis Blues. Besides Holmgren's injury, Acton with a bruised left wrist in game number 6. They thought it was a fracture that he would be out. He has been probably the best player for the North Stars in this playoffs, but he is trying it. It's a question of what percentage both of these players will be going, Acton and Holmgren, and of course Tom McCarthy with a cracked vertebrae. That happened game 4, is out. Levy fires the shot and it goes wide. Brody Roberts plays it around the boards to the veteran Al McAdam. He's bumped, but he stays with it. In the slot it goes as Minnesota setting up as if they're on a power play. Terry Johnson, 26, taking a run, and now Rick Wilson trying to start out for St. Louis, who have had no attack whatsoever. Holmgren cuts in, but it is Joey Mullen who steals and puts it on the stick of Fedorko. Fedorko with Sutter. Sutter trying to skip around the defense. He cannot. And now it is Holmgren once again with George Ferguson. Ferguson tries to deke the defenseman. Walks in front. Save made by Liu. 4-0. Shots on goal in favor of Minnesota. The outset. Here is Mullen, a 41-goal scorer. Slides it on Beaupre. And he shoots it into the corner where Al McAdam waits. George Ferguson for the North Stars, and he wraps it in. Liut comes out being chased from behind Ciccarelli. Puts the shoulder into Liut. Gilmore, number 18 for St. Louis, but here comes Minnesota again. Ciccarelli diving for the puck, can't get to it. Delorme winds it around the boards. Mullen waiting on the right wing. Skips it ahead, but it's intercepted by Lindgren. Ciccarelli's been all over the ice on this shift. We have played 3.5 minutes. The ice has been tilted into the St. Louis end. And Maxwell pins, so St. Louis at least gets a whistle and a face-off in the Minnesota end.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the National Hockey League. Is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Hockey League is strictly prohibited. I'll take a look at this last opportunity by George Ferguson. Ferguson just cutting in. He's going for that top corner on Liut, but watch Liut. He stands tall in those nets, gets down in that crouched position. Doesn't let George Ferguson have his way.
For St. Louis, it is a line of Wickenheiser at center for Babbage on the right wing and Perry Anderson, the speedster, number 12, on the left. St. Louis with just one harmless shot on goal so far. As we said, the team that has controlled the first third in this series has certainly had the upper hand in the first 6 games, and so far it has been 4 minutes of North Stars.
When we wondered whether this man would be in the lineup, Keith Acton, number 12, and you talked about his injury. I had him as a young junior playing in Peterborough, and he was faced in that same situation in the 7th game Memorial Cup playoffs. He had a dislocated shoulder, but do you think you can keep him out of the lineup? He said, no way. If you don't make a shoulder brace for me, I'll play without one, but I'm going to play, and he did play.
Well, in Game 5, he had a goal and 2 assists to lead Minnesota to a 6-0 win, and then gets injured in Game 6. Here is Steve Payne, cutting to the outside, gets around Bothwell. Payne circling, looking in front for Maxwell, and he slides that one wide. It is raced down by Babbage. Onto the stick of Wickenheiser, but coming back, Steve Payne, and he pokes it away. Babbage, number 10 for St. Louis, bangs it off the board. It is Wickenheiser coming back, regrouping in his own zone. Tim Bothwell with a puck for St. Louis. Lead pass to Babbage, and near break for the Blues. But now it's a 2-on-2 with Bellows. Poke check by Bichette, and it comes back to center ice. 4.5 minutes gone by in his first period. No score, the 7th in deciding game. It is Maxwell. Back it goes, the shot, and it just trickles wide as Acton got the shot off, but a defenseman got the stick down. Giles skates it in. Giles stays right with it. Giles banged up. And now Hickey pokes to center ice. 5 minutes, 5 seconds gone by in period number 1. Willie makes pace. Liut comes out. He spins it around the boards. They tangle for it there. Fled in the middle of it for Minnesota. And back on the other side. It is raced down by Gantcher. The rookie, Perry Gantcher, number 19, up to Hickey. Hickey has to backtrack as Carlson was offside. And Minnesota again comes out. Marouf to the blue line. Cross ice to Platt. Platt back pass to Hirsch, who pokes it ahead. But it is stolen there by Carson. And he goes cross ice, and Van Helleman, the referee, has to get out of the way. And it's sent all the way down. Icing waved off on this one. So Beaupre comes out, and he gives it for his defense. Giles, the bullet, comes out, hits the red line. The pass to Marouf. On the stick, it goes to Holmgren. Holmgren shoots it in. He bumps Terry Johnson. Now, the fight for the puck along the boards. And it is Sutter who sends it out with 6 minutes gone by in period number 1. Joey Mullen gets off a good wrist shot as he's smothered by Gord Roberts. And Holmgren on the right wing, taking a long look. Comes to the center ice mark. To the blue line, where it's poke checked away by Sutter, who's still looking for his first goal, not just in this series, but the playoffs for St. Louis. No score. 7th game of the Norris Division Finals. Roberts winding it up in his own zone. Ferguson plays it ahead. Ferguson, the back pass, switching in Roberts, shot, save made by Liut, and Liut sharp here in the opening minutes.
Number 10, Gordy Roberts, had an excellent opportunity on some pretty fine back drop passes that were handed out. Gordy Roberts coming in to the right of your screen, but Liut once again making sure that angle was covered, making the stop.
Neil Broughton facing off against Doug Gilmore. DeLorme pinned in there, but he gets the puck out. And now St. Louis, an outshot 5-2. Start out. It is Gilmour, the leading scorer for the Blues in the playoffs, but it comes back to center ice. Ricocheted back in there by DeLorme. Delay offside, now the whistle. We played 7 minutes. Mark Napier, along with Acton, came over from Montreal in the trade for Bobby Smith. Well, Bobby Smith goes on as Montreal will face the Islanders in the next round. Now it's a question of whether Napier and Acton will go on to the next round of the playoffs.
Napier didn't get a lot of ice time when he came across in that trade this season that saw Napier come to Montreal. But I think he's a very talented player, certainly goal-scoring-wise. He's had a good history of being able to put the puck in the net.
There's the rookie Doug Gilmour, 2 goals, 8 assists, 10 points, leading scorer for the Blues in the playoffs. Lovey, number 34 for Minnesota. It is intercepted and back the other way. Gilmour, along with Anderson, are coming back for the North Stars. Both Bellows and Roberts takes it. The long pass onto the stick of Payne. Payne, a long shot and a kick saved by Liut. Steve Payne really fired up here in the first period. The Blues come back, having shut out the North Stars 4-0 in the last game. Payne bumps with DeLorme. Anderson, long shot, and it goes wide. And Minnesota with the puck. Bellows over the blue line. Cuts into the slot, and the puck rolls all the way in, and it's steered away by Liut. Back to the blue line. Lindgren. Blocked by Payne in front, looking to try to guide it in. Lindgren, who has 2 first goals of games in the series or the playoffs for the Minnesota North Stars. We have played 8 minutes. It has basically been Minnesota. For our local systems, we'll pause. Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way on USA. Well, St. Louis with their big line out there, see if they could stir things up. They have finally been reunited here in this series with Joey Mullen back from a shoulder injury. Mullen, Fedorko, along with Sutter, trying to get Sutter in gear. Minnesota with their checking line. Ferguson, McAdam, and Holmgren. And it comes all the way back to the Minnesota end. Another icing. This is about, what, the 3rd or 4th against St. Louis here in this first period.
Both teams really feeling each other out. Good number of icing calls, which really means the team aren't going to take any chances in their own end zone. We'll take a look at number 5 for the Minnesota North Stars, Brad Maxwell. And George Ferguson, who had an earlier chance on Mike Liut, mostly used in the penalty-killing department, of which he's done an excellent job with the North Stars, but also getting a chance to play regular.
On the screen, Lindgren's shot goes wide, and it comes all the way out. So back for it is Maxwell. Maxwell takes a long look, being watched in front by Fedorko. No score. We have played just about 9 minutes in this first period. As Minnesota having problems clearing. Maxwell wraps it around, and it is kept in by St. Louis. Dave Pichette, but an offside is called. On the scoreboard, Calgary has come back to tie it 2-2 in the second period for the Cider and the Smythe division.
You notice in Minnesota's end zone, they were having some problems, not because of heavy forechecking that St. Louis were applying, but the positional play of the St. Louis Blues, playing very defensively, but standing back, cutting up down all the angles, the passing lanes for the North Stars, giving us a problem.
Here's Platt, but he is offside. He got the long pass from Brent Ashton to send him in, and Platt, with a quizzical look, thought he had it in stride. So the offside is called, and the faceoff will come at center ice.
North Stars got Willie Platt for some toughness. Well, they provided them with some toughness. Also spent a lot of time in the penalty box this year, 316 minutes to be exact.
Hirsch plays it ahead. It is Ashton, the former Devil. The shot goes wide, although Liut got a stick glove on it. Rick Wilson and Hickey back there for St. Louis, but it is Platt who digs it loose to Ashton behind the net. He's to put it in front. And it is Johnson off the boards. Harry Gantry comes in for St. Louis. And yes, it has been a feeling out process. Most of it has been done in the St. Louis end of the ice. Comes all the way back. And we have the whistle. Stanley Cup playoffs coming to you coast to coast on USA.
Dennis Marouk briefly. That is a Something with playoffs that many players refuse to shave until they lose.
Well, so far it's 5 goals, 4 assists for Maroon. And Acton are their leading scorers for the North Stars. And the puck is pinned right there. We have played 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes to go in this first, as Acton has a couple of words, and I'm sure most of the fans and also the St. Louis players see how Acton responds. He got a shot from Rob Ramage on the left wrist. They thought it was cracked, that he would be through for the playoffs, but he has come back.
Amazing, even the team doctor said on their way back to Minnesota before it was x-rayed that it was 95% chance that it was broken or cracked. Neither came true. Keith Acton very pleased to get that news. Acton will have a difficult time tonight on face-offs and shooting and all the things that your wrist is so vitally important for.
Well, they have called it a severe bruise to the left wrist to Acton, but he is playing here tonight, as is Holmgren, who has a torn ligament in the knee, not to mention a shoulder problem and just getting over the flu. 10 minutes into this first period, no score. The team that scores more goals in this game tonight will advance to the next round. Hirsch, but it is swept away by Gilbert Delorme, a former Montreal Canadian who came over in the trade to St. Louis that sent Perry Turnbull to the Canadiens. Cicerelli plays it ahead, intended for Napier, another former Canadian. So Canadians, although they have responded and gone on in the playoffs, they have certainly helped out these two teams. Gilmore punched in the boards by Levy. And Napier starts out. Napier to the red line. Comes to the St. Louis line. Cuts inside. And it's sticked away by Johnson. And St. Louis, 3-on-2. Pedersen, this has been their best line, but they go in offside. Pedersen with Gilmore and Reeds. Jorgen Pedersen, 6 goals in the playoffs, a 5-way tie for leadership in that category.
Pedersen scored 3 goals in 1 game against Detroit. That line with Pedersen, Reeds, and Gilmore, as you say, Al, their most consistent line. The only line that has also been kept together through the course of playoffs, because the only reason, obviously, that the Federico Mullen-Sutter line was not together through the course of playoffs was the injury to Mullen.
Here is Maroon winding it out for the Minnesota North Stars in the scoreless first period. He wraps it all the way around, and Liut gets to it and winds it back the other way on the right wing to Mullen. Mullen plays it ahead for Federico, 4th leading scorer of the NHL with 107 points this year. But Platt, he has Maroon digging on the right side. Platt, shot, scores! What a bullet!
Well, a bullet it was. Watch this. Willie Platt. He's got Dennis Krug with him on the left side. His right. Doesn't use him, though. Goes for the short side. And he picked it cleanly. Watch number 24, Willie Platt. There he comes. Right at the top of the circle. He really drilled that one, and very unexpectedly on the short side.
Well, so far it seems as if St. Louis has not gotten their wake-up call. It has been all Minnesota. Now they strike and lead 1-0. Willie Platt scores his 4th playoff goal. He had 15 goals all year, and he has 4 here in the playoffs. 1-0, Minnesota. We are now experiencing some video problems as St. Louis experiences their problems here. So do we on the video side. We are working on that right now, and hopefully we'll have that tuned up and tuned in as soon as possible. 8 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this first period. 1-0, Minnesota takes the lead. Steve Payne comes out for the North Stars. Gives it to Maxwell. Maxwell tries to slip it through the defense, but it is broken up. Fellows keeps it in, and Minnesota jumping on the Blues first, want to keep the pressure on. Pedersen gets it out to Delorme. Delorme takes the route along the board. He is kept there by Maxwell. Digging for the puck, the Blues looking to get the equalizer. Wickenheiser is there, and now we have the whistle. For our local systems, we'll pause. The Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way on USA. 7 minutes, 43 seconds to go in period number 1. Minnesota leading 1-0.
Well, a very concentrated look at Jacques Demers studying this face-off, a very important face-off right now in the Minnesota's end zone.
Bothwell winds it around as Beaupre has not been busy at all tonight, so he's coming out, get a little extra skating action. St. Louis has been outshot 8-2 by Minnesota. 1-0 North Stars. Anderson with a great speed trying to get it revved up, but Lindgren smashes him into the boards. Acton plays it out on the stick of Payne. He has Bellows on the right side. Bellows over the blue line. Bellows trying to curl around, but Bothwell stands him up. Payne now circles to the point. Hurst puts it on goal, and it's off the leg of Bothwell. Here is Acton on the screen, and it is blocked in front by Galore. And now Wickenheiser for St. Louis. No penalties have been called as of yet. Andy Von Helleman is working tonight's game. 1-0 Minnesota here in the first period. 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Both goaltenders have been outstanding during this series, as Beaupre ranking number 2nd and Liut number 3rd in playoff goaltenders behind Montreal's Cinderella Steve Patterson leaves it in and now sends it in the corner intended for Reeves, but he's beaten there by the Minnesota defense. Gilmore into the corner. Reeves crushed there by Hirsch. Hirsch pokes it out, but Reed stays with it. Patterson and a quick save by Beaupre. His big tester of this first period, right in the slot. 6 minutes, 15 seconds left. A quick-moving first period. Broughton goes down. No penalty call. And it's off the boards for Reeves on the right wing. He has Gilmore at center, and he gets the puck. Gilmore checked by Roberts as the North Stars standing up at their blue line. Long pass by Napier, gathers it in nicely with a skate. Bellows with Terry Johnson, or rather a Cicerelli, number 20 for the North Stars. And now it is Roberts being chased by Mullen. Ramage.
St. Louis now having difficulty getting their skating legs, it appears. They're not moving the way they're capable of.
Here's Fedorko. Fedorko off the screen, and it's deflected into the corner, where Ferguson plays it behind. Intercepted. Fedorko behind the net, out in front center. Great save by Beaupre. So he is tested the last 2 times, and he comes up big as McAdam puts it ahead. But now St. Louis revving it up again, picking up speed with 5 minutes, 8 seconds to go in period number 1. And Beaupre just this on it. Our local systems, we pause now. Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way on USA. And there's the first penalty of the evening. Greg Levy goes off for 2 minutes for tripping at 14:55. So now St. Louis with a power play to try to tie it up. From the point, the shot blocked. Rebound right on the goal line goes in. Will it count? Yes. It is all tied up. St. Louis strikes quickly on the power play. Brian Sutter right in the crease. He was looking for his first goal in the playoffs, and he got it.
He says, finally, I scored 32 during the course of the regular season and have not been able to score a goal. This is the 11th game of playoffs. Watch it. In front of that net area. There you see that supposed high stick, first of all, by number 24, Bernie Fedorko. Now let's watch that one again. That's maybe why St. Louis was arguing, or I should say Minnesota arguing.
Well, the replay showed that it was actually Beaupre who knocked it in as he reached back to try to grab it. So now it is all tied up. With all the advantage Minnesota has had territorially, St. Louis, with 4:40 to go, tied the game. Giles the shot, Liut the save, and streaking in was Marouf. Liut looks behind him, it wasn't there. Out to Hirsch, he fires, glove save made by Liut. And things are intensifying here late in the first period.
Number 26, Terry Johnson, moved in there very quickly to try and get Brent Ashton out of the way. Wasn't any question that Johnson was going to jump in there, making sure that there was no rebound. Watch this shot from the point. Marouk having a good opportunity, but missing. Ashton then having a good opportunity. But here comes the one from the other point. Now watch Johnson react. There's Ashton. Well, you couldn't quite see the finale. Ashton was moved out of there very quickly.
Sutter to the goal for Durko, and Pichette got the assist to power play at 15:05. The Plett goal for Minnesota, assisted by Ashton and Roberts at 11:28. Here's Hirsch again, blasted, and another save by Liut on the screen. And you're seeing an example here in this first period of how these goaltenders have played. Ashton, as Liut got the pads down on it, and now he freezes it. 4 minutes 12 to go.
He's had to come up with about 4 or 5 good saves. Tom Hirsch showing off his good slap shot from the point as well. There you see Ashton getting off a chance. Liut just covering up. There's Tom Hirsch's big shot we talked about, and he has got a big shot. Liut making the splits, making the save.
The shots on goal in this first period, the Minnesota 13 and St. Louis 7. Baruch facing off for Minnesota against Fedorko. Fedorko wins the draw, and he gets it back to his defenseman, Tim Bothwell, picked up in the waiver draft. Plays it ahead for Durko. His long shot, and Beaupre makes the save, sweeps it aside. And now it is Joe Mullen. Mullen has a man in front, Sutter. He is there again. And Beaupre plays him well and keeps him off the puck. Sutter behind the net, but Baruch digging it out, loses to Mullen, puts it in the slot, and it's swept aside and cleared. And for the first time tonight, Minnesota has to take the pressure off of them and ice it.
Brian Sutter had an excellent chance once again right in front of that net area, but it was this man, Beaupre, that really saved the day for Minnesota because he just stood his ground. Both goaltenders making some key saves so far in this first period. 3:37 remaining.
The workhorse, Liut, ever since he stepped in, he has played every playoff game. It's 38 in a row now for the St. Louis Blues, as he faces Don Beaupre of the Minnesota North Stars. Gilmore takes the draw for St. Louis. Payne, the face-off for Minnesota. And Ron Finn asks Payne to leave. So Bellows, the 19-year-old captain, the shot by Pettersson, and he drills it wide. St. Louis coming alive with that power play goal. Gilmore put it right in the slot. Bothwell shoots it ahead. And now it is Pettersson behind the net. And active, carrying it out for Minnesota. Ahead to Bellows. Bellows on the right wing. With 3:12 left, Acton steals. 1-1 score. Again, Acton puts it in front. And now St. Louis, a 3-on-2. Pettersson with Gilmore. Gilmore to Pettersson in the slot, where he wheels. Plays it ahead to Reeves, and he's bumped off the play by Payne. 3 minutes left in this first period. Gilmore chases back for St. Louis. And now he starts up to the red line and shoots it in. Hickey making chase, but Beaupre is there. Winds it around the boards on the right wing to Ciccarelli. Leaves it for Maxwell. Back to Ciccarelli. The long shot, and Liut comes out and easily grabs it. Ramage around the boards on the right wing to Hickey. Hickey with Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser picks it up and shoots it in. Babbage plays it behind the net. 2.5 minutes to go in this first period. Gord Roberts, who will be Al Trautwig's guest in between periods. And here's the race. It is Ciccarelli along with Johnson, and Johnson gets there first and the call.
Good hustle by Johnson. Meanwhile, he had one good skater on top of him, number 20, Dino Ciccarelli.
St. Louis Blues this year finishing 71 points, 17 points behind the North Stars. North Stars finished first in the Norris. St. Louis finished second. St. Louis won the season, or rather Minnesota won the season series, 5-2 with 1 tie. But it was St. Louis that won the last 2 matchups. Face off to the left of Beaupre. Fedorko out to the slot. Mullen leaves it for Bothwell. Closes in for the shot. And Beaupre got a piece of that with his stick. 2 minutes left in this first period. Mullen crunched into the boards by Levy. Takes exception to that, and now separated.
One thing about Brian Sutter, I noticed this afternoon that he came over to the arena at about 3:15 this afternoon. So a lot of time before the game, but apparently he does that each and every game. He's a very well-prepared hockey player that insists on coming to the rink very early the day of the game.
Well, it paid off for him tonight as he scores St. Louis's first goal, his first goal of the playoffs. Bernie Federko in his own zone. Winding it up onto the stick of Bothwell. Bothwell hits the red line and shoots it in. Mullen plays it to Sutter. As Sutter, back it goes to the defense. DeLorme on the screen, and he whistles one high. Bothwell behind the net to Sutter. Sutter in front to Mullen, but he is covered, and now St. Louis is taking the attack to the North Stars. A minute and a half to go in period one. Holmgren lines it around where Liut stops it for DeLorme. DeLorme too long for Mullen, and it goes all the way down. It is waved off, no icing called, as Kurt Giles starts the attack for the Minnesota North Stars. Onto the stick of Hirsch, his defensive mate. Plays it in. Flett, along with Johnson. They freeze it along the boards, and there is the whistle. So with a minute 2 left in this first period, a face-off in the St. Louis end.
Willie Plett, big Willie Plett, getting that very important first goal for the Minnesota North Stars. You see Coach Bill Mahoney. Players just recently bought Bill. They call him the Walrus. They bought him a little toy walrus that they wound up on the dressing room floor. It rotated around and squawked. Bill said, well, it had a very similar resemblance to me, but I don't think my voice is quite that high.
A minute to go. Especially the Walrus have the earpiece that Bill was wearing. He's tuning in, listening to Gary Green's comments. Bill, who was formerly assistant coach. Here's the centering pass to Ashton as Marouk made that play in the last minute of this first. Again, Ashton, great sliding save by Liut. He better get up as Ashton staying right on the puck. Ashton looks to bring it in front. He has Willie Plett raced there, waiting for the pass. Gilmore with 25 seconds to go. There is Marouk again. Gets it out to Giles. Shoots it in the crowd. Marouk fires. Where is it? It is stopped in front by the defense as Rob Ramage kneeling on the puck.
I don't think it was possible for Mike Liut to see that puck. He had Ashton in front of him, and he had Big Willie Plett in front of him. Dennis Marouk with possession of it. Now let's watch Marouk. Now take a look just to the right of your screen. You can see number 24, Willie Plett, number 17, Ashton, but it's number 5 for the St. Louis Blues, Rob Ramage, that actually makes the save. Maybe it's a good thing that he did make this save because that kind of lets Mike Liut off the hook.
Jacques Demers, 39 years old. He coached in the WHA for several teams, then coached the Quebec Nordiques their first year in the NHL. And here in his first season is coached with the St. Louis Blues and trying to write a Cinderella story in St. Louis. 13 seconds left in this first period. 1-1 is the score. Roberts comes back with Hickey on him, and so Minnesota, with 9 seconds to go, will be able to set up, getting the faceoff deep in the Blues end.
And you take a look at number 61, Pat Hickey. Hickey, who's been a much-traveled hockey player in the NHL. He's been used primarily as a defensive player. There you see the shots on goal, 14-9 right now for the Minnesota North Stars. And if they win this faceoff, they may get another shot on net.
It has been an even series, 3 wins apiece. Each team has won on the road once. Each team has recorded a shutout. Overall, Minnesota with 16 goals, St. Louis with 15. Quickly, it is Payne trying to get on the puck with 3 seconds left. And that is it. And the St. Louis Blues have to be very happy about coming out with a 1-1 tie. Again, the goaltenders excelling in the first period. The shots on goal, the Minnesota North Stars with 14, the St. Louis Blues with 9. Coming up, Al Trautwig will be talking with Minnesota defenseman, very prominent here in the first period, Gordy Roberts. The score after 1 period of play. Minnesota North Stars 1, the St. Louis Blues 1. Our first intermission activities begin in just a moment. St. Louis, the 7th and final game of the Norris Division Finals. And St. Louis on the attack early. It is Mullen who brings it in, crushed to the ice by Gordy Roberts. Sutter stays with it. And it's Rob Ramage who shoots it in. Donnie Beaupre in goal for Minnesota. It is Craig Levy who was in the penalty box for only 10 seconds before Sutter scored the tying goal. Al McAdam, who has a Stanley Cup ring with the Philadelphia Flyers as he works behind the net. Crushed there by Ramage. George Ferguson steps in. He has Holmgren. Pulls the trigger, and it just goes wide. Terry Johnson for St. Louis. He is checked into the boards by Holmgren. The steal by Roberts. Roberts on the screen. Kicked out by Liu. And Fedorko is checked, and it's sent in by Levy, but Minnesota offside.
Marty Roberts right in that slot area, getting away a good shot on net. Meanwhile, North Stars sending that puck in offside. Well, talking about a good scoring opportunity, there's number 15, Paul Holmgren, just rifling that shot on net. You can see that Mike Liuk was having a little interference in front of him, something I'm sure the North Stars will concentrate on this period.
Wickenheiser is stopped at the blue line. Harry Anderson, number 12, moves it ahead, and it comes back out. Gilbert Delorme for the St. Louis Blues. And it's tipped in by Babbage. Chasing is Maxwell. Plays it along the boards. Babbage with the steal. Looks in front. Nobody there. He's ridden off the play by Lindgren. Plays it off the boards for Platt. And here's the race for it. Ashton along with Delorme. And Delorme gets there first. A minute and a half into this second period. 1-1 score. The winner goes on in the playoffs to meet either Edmonton or Calgary. And it floats to center, well, into the bench, the North Star bench. On the scoreboard, Calgary and Edmonton, you see the score. All knotted at 3-3. A battle there. Calgary once down 3-1 in that series. And remember, they have won 2 games in Edmonton in that series. This 7th and final game at Edmonton. Gilmore will take the faceoff for St. Louis, out to Reeds, who pulled the trigger, but it is blocked. Bellows races for it, but he is beaten to the puck by Pichette. Al Giles goes cross ice, intercepted by Pichette. And Bellows winding it up, pass too long. 2 minutes into the second period. The steal by Payne, long shot. And Liut got a piece of that. Payne stays with it in the corner. Looks to get it back to the point, but it is poked out by Sutter. Takes a bump by Hirsch, and now Mullen with Sutter. Broken up by Hirsch. And an offside is called against St. Louis.
Ryan Sutter having a little difficulty controlling that puck after he scored that first goal in the first period. And he had another good opportunity, but seemed to be a little tight with that puck and with his stick, almost grinding the sawdust off of it.
Tom Hirsch, local product, played on the United States Olympic team, joining the Minnesota North Stars, coming off an ankle injury, and has been a big man in the playoffs on the defensive core. 2.5 minutes into the second period. 1-1, Minnesota and St. Louis. Here's Mullen gliding in. Fires, blocked by Beaupre. So Mullen with a great opportunity to put St. Louis in front. Ferguson behind the back to Holmgren. Feeds it ahead, and it slides wide. It is Sutter who plays it around the board. St. Louis looks to clear, but they cannot. Mullen comes in. Now it is Ferguson, number 21. Mullen digging for the puck. Ferguson trying to pry it loose. And finally, a whistle. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on USA. 1-1, 3 minutes into the second.
Whether or not it's feeling out process or not, you wouldn't think so. This is the 7th game. They should know what to expect from each other by now.
Well, St. Louis came out very tentative. It was Cicerelli knocked off the puck and cleared the center ice. Minnesota had the territorial advantage for most of the first period. Then St. Louis came alive in the closing minutes when they tied the score at 1-1. Here is Broughton winding it up, trying to split between 3 players. In front, and a break for St. Louis, 3-on-2. This is their top line coming out. Mark Reeds looking for Gilmore, but it's intercepted. And back the other way, the North Stars, 3-on-2. It is Broughton, but checked and turned around nicely by Johnson, and we have a penalty coming up. The first to St. Louis tonight. As Andy Van Hellemond raising the arm, and a penalty is called against the Blues. 3.5 minutes into the second period. So we'll be back with a Minnesota Power Play, exclusive national coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, only on USA.
For holding, Neil Broughton was the player that he held. Now, he did this beautifully at first. He played it right, but then he just kind of held on a little bit too long. Now, I think that glove was attached to Broughton's shirt from behind. That was the holding part of it.
Time of the penalty, 3:32, and we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis end. Now, Gary, Minnesota was the top power play team in the NHL during the regular season, but here in the playoffs against St. Louis, they scored 4 times in 19 attempts. And they try to break the tie in this game, but St. Louis sending it down. For the playoffs, Minnesota 8 of 42, 19%. Tell you a little bit about the power plays in the playoffs. That minuscule percentage, 19%, is 4th best in the playoffs. It is sent in. Racing for it is Napier. Napier plays it back for Broughton. Broughton now back skates to the blue line to spread things out. Maxwell into the corner to Marouf. Marouf takes a look. He has Ciccarelli behind the net. Ciccarelli out to Broughton. Broughton curls. He has Maxwell. Gilmore all over him. Maxwell into the corner to Marouf. Here it's to Broughton, but he can't hold on. A hopping puck goes over his stick. And Minnesota has to set up again. The near steal, and it is a steal. Minnesota on the defense as Hickey walks in and almost comes up with his second shorthanded goal of this playoff series.
I tell you, that was a 3-on-1 opportunity as Pat Hickey skates to the bench. Here you see it. 3 Blues, only 1 North Star. Tom Beaupre was lucky that he was able to contain that rebound and hang on to it because the Blues vastly outnumbered the North Stars on that particular occasion.
1:01 to go, and the penalty to Terry Johnson of the Blues. The faceoff is now in the Minnesota end, and Calgary has struck. They lead Edmonton 4-3 in that one. Second period. And it comes out, but now St. Louis has a chance to eat up some more time. Ramage taking it way back and finds a hole, and he fires it through. Gordy Roberts is the crowd now getting a little antsy. 50 seconds left in the power play in this 1-1 hockey game. The lead pass goes ahead to Bellows as he collides with his own player, Acton. Roberts is chased back by Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser and Reeds on the ice for St. Louis. Acton, he has Payne on the right side, but goes to Bellows. Bellows in the corner to Acton. Payne setting up in front. It is Roberts. Fakes the shot. Now puts it side of the net with 23 seconds left in the power play. Roberts overskates. Payne comes in. He has Acton. The shot. Save. The rebound. Steered away. Payne looks for the backhand with Liut down, but he can't get it near.
Steve Payne in front of that net area just couldn't lift that puck. Everyone was down, but he couldn't get it up on a backhand.
There it is, Bellows, knocked down by Pichette, and that should just about do it. Terry Johnson now coming out. The penalty is over. So Minnesota unable to click on the power play, and the game remains at 1-1. 14 minutes, 20 seconds left in this second period. Minnesota with Brent Ashton to the blue line. Fleck on the screen, still in front, saved by Liut as Ashton tries to put it in. And now center ice, carried out by Sutter. Sutter looking to split the defense. And it goes all the way back. Sutter staying right with it. Being very aggressive as usual. 1-1 hockey game. And Minnesota gives up the puck. Willie Plett along the boards. He is checked there by Sutter. They pry it loose just for the moment. Sutter is bumped from behind by Maxwell. Van Hellemond letting them play. And then the whistle. For our local systems, we'll pause. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on USA. 20 seconds left in the second period. Babbage behind the Minnesota goal. In front, Wickenheiser, and he fires it wide. Tom Hirsch plays it out intended for Broughton, but it is too long. And now it appears as that St. Louis is turning things in their direction. 1-1 is the score. Minnesota and St. Louis, 7th and final game of the Norris Division Finals. Broughton with a head of steam, poke checked away by Rick Wilson.
St. Louis continuing to play very well on their own blue line especially. They had 4 men back that time, making it impossible almost for Minnesota to carry it in at times.
Well, Broughton trying to carry it in there. Napier, number 16, bumped off the play. Napier now has it back to the point. Levy puts it in front. The tip saved by Liut, and he steers it wide. Somebody got the stick on it in front, and Liut stayed with the tip. Reeves streaking it along the boards, and he is hammered there by Roberts. And Minnesota on the attack again. It is broken up by the Blues. Pettersson heads in. He has Reeves. Long shot saved by Beaupre. And now we're going end to end. Broughton again. If he has anything left, Napier looking to step between two St. Louis Blues. Mark Reeves at the red line, and he dumps it in. 8 minutes gone by in this second period in Minnesota. Levy brings to the red line and shoots it in. Ramage, who is hit as he clears it out. It goes all the way down. No icing, so Beaupre helps out his defenseman. The steal by Fedorko. He has Mullen in front, but the pass behind him, and it comes all the way down. Ramage chasing back. They'll have Ashton right on him. Ramage gets it by Ashton and Plett. And off the boards, it is Sutter. Onto the stick of Fedorko with Mullen streaking in front. Plays it into the corner. Mullen dashes by his man, puts it in front, but nobody there. And here it comes back the other way. The race is on Ferguson, but he is beaten to the puck. 11:18 left as Plett takes a flying leap into Bothwell. Second period of play. Winding up is Delorme, looking to lead in Fedorko, but it is tipped away, and an offside is called against St. Louis. The score, St. Louis 1, Minnesota 1. A reminder that USA Sports is bringing you Stanley Cup playoffs. Well, it is kind of quiet here at the Met Center in Bloomington. Crowd perhaps anticipating something a little more exciting, but the first half of the game, 1-1. Here's Payne, and he shoots it wide, and the teams appear to be in a 30-minute feeling-out process. The puck pinned behind the net, Wickenheiser. Neither team, of course, wanting to make that vital mistake that could cost not just the game, but the series. And now St. Louis brings it to center ice. It is Wickenheiser who feeds it through. Maxwell with Anderson on his back. Again, 4 players battle the pin, but Lindgren comes in for Minnesota. 3 men back for the Blues. Lindgren carrying the puck to the blue line, drops it back, and Anderson stops, turns, and goes the other way. Anderson floats it in on goal, and Beaupre leaves it aside. 10 minutes gone, 10 minutes to go in this second period. Wilson plays it ahead. It is Fedorko, fires, and a save by Beaupre. He knows he's got it somewhere, and there it is.
Both teams changing very quickly, especially St. Louis, and that can be an indicator that perhaps both clubs right now a little bit tired and really feeling the effects of 6 games going to the 7th. Let's watch this last scoring opportunity, the one by Bernie Fedorko. Here he just stops and winds up, lets that shot go. You can see the head of Don Beaupre kind of looking around. He thought he had it, wanted to make sure that there were no rebounds lying around.
Well, he's certainly seen Fedorko in this series. Fedorko scored the first goal in game number 6 midway in the first period, and that snapped Beaupre's string of 97 straight scoreless minutes against the St. Louis Blues. And it was Fedorko who scored the last goal that had beaten Beaupre in the 4th game. 9:50 left in the second. 1-1 the score. McAdam with Holmgren. Holmgren trying to lead McAdam in. Ferguson puts it in front. And St. Louis on the attack, but we have a penalty coming up. A penalty coming up again on the Blues. So after the Blues have successfully fended off one power play, they will have to do it again. The same man going in, Gary Johnson. Coach can't be too happy about that. He goes in twice within a few minutes.
Both times behind the play as well. Something that makes coaches even that much angrier. Let's take a look at it. Well, there you can see Johnson in front of the net area. He is holding Paul Holmgren's stick, in fact. That's exactly what he gets the penalty for. Holding is the call on Johnson. 10:19 is the time. Minnesota on the power play.
And it's a one-on-one. Hickey again shorthanded. Stops, drills it wide. Hickey stays with it. Another drive. And that one is high. Ramage fires it ahead. That ricochets off a couple of skates. And it's intercepted by Gilmore. And Gilmore shoots it behind to waste some more time. Hickey there. Takes it away from Giles. He was looking for Gilmore, streaking in front. Hickey behind the goal. He is bodied by Maxwell. Pichette puts it in front. And a good shot by Hickey. And finally, Beaupre has to gobble it up with a man down.
Who's got the penalty here? Well, St. Louis does. But they've had better scoring opportunities than they've had the whole game. Pat Hickey doing an excellent job. Maxwell having to rough up a St. Louis player in that crease area, a little frustrated.
For our local systems, we will pause right now. The National Hockey League on USA.
We'll see why. In front of that net area is number 18. Doug Gilmore is being held by Giles.
So Gilmore and Hickey doing the job. Not only killing the penalty, but now at equal strength as they draw the penalty on Giles. So the team skating 4-on-4. But it is Acton on the rush, and he is placed into the boards by Bothwell. Joey Mullen looking to pry it loose, but there is a whistle, and there'll be a face-off in the St. Louis end. So Johnson sits in the penalty box for another minute 5 for St. Louis, and Giles is in for a minute 41.
Keith Acton, never a man lost for words. He's doing a little chattering right now. He's very much of an intimidating type of player, not very big, but certainly always there when there's any action.
Action Acton, that's what they call him. And the face-off is now outside the St. Louis blue line. The crowd again applauding, trying to get their North Stars to get going. Although the North Stars have outshot St. Louis 22-16. 8.5 minutes to go in this second period. It is DeLorme starting it up for the Blues. DeLorme takes it in, and he is bodied by Lovey. And now Steve Payne for the North Stars. Ahead onto the stick of Lovey. The defenseman brings it in. Takes it behind the net. He centers it in front, and it's swept away by Federko. Federko revving it up for the Blues. 1-1 hockey score. It is Federko. Fakes the shot. Carries behind the net. Rid of the boards by Roberts. Mullen looks back. It is Pichette. Pichette stays with it. In front to Federko. The shot blocked by the defense. And we will have a whistle.
Gordy Roberts, one of the Minnesota North Stars' best defensemen, goes down and covers up that puck in front of the net area.
Edmonton has rebounded 5-4. So Edmonton coming back.
And you see Roberts in the corner. He's right on top of number 24, Bernie Federko for St. Louis. And it's a good thing that he was on top of him. Federko ended up with the puck in front of the net area. If you're going to cover a man, well, Roberts chose the right man to cover, Bernie Federko.
17 seconds on the penalty to Johnson of St. Louis. 53 on the penalty to Giles of Minnesota. 7:58 left in the second tie hockey game. Pichette fakes the shot. Now walking in for the backhand. Glove save made by Beaupre. Almost seemed like slow motion as Pichette walked in.
Well, watch him. Big, lanky Dave Pichette made an excellent move here. Just went around the diving Minnesota North Star player. Just got off a very weak backhand, though. There you can see the move that he made. You can see Gilmore in front of the net as well, making a good blocking play on George Ferguson.
The screen goes wide as St. Louis will have a power play in 2 seconds as Johnson comes on, and there's 35 seconds left in the penalty to Giles of Minnesota. But it's Minnesota on the attack. Ferguson poked away, but it is picked up by Hirsch. Right in front, the backhand. Save, rebound, and Liut somehow has it. So it goes down as a shorthanded effort by Minnesota, and they get close.
I think Tom Hirsch has been very much a standout player for the North Stars in tonight's game so far. Watch him. He picked up that puck at the blue line and walks right in. Now, no one really attacks him here. You can see 2 Blues in front of the net area. They're more concerned with Al McAdam. Mike Liut having to come up with that save. Liut has been very sharp, very alert in this game tonight.
Mike Liut with a 2.31 goal average in the playoffs. Beaupre 2.16. They're ranked 2 and 3 in the playoffs. Ramage drills it into the corner. It is Sutter taking the man. Fedorko looking for the puck. And Bothwell can't keep it in. 5 seconds to go in this power play, which really didn't have much time to wind up for the Blues. And now Giles is back on. Teams are at equal strength with 7 minutes left in the second. 1-1 hockey game. Acted to the blue line. Leaves it for Payne. Checked by Sutter. Puts it on goal and swept away by Liut. Fellows in front, the tip by Payne, but it hits the side of the net. Payne again digging in front of the net. And Mullen clears it out. Fedorko. Payne takes a run at him. Fedorko, though, gets it out. Mullen to the blue line. And Payne back for Minnesota. He and Sutter bump. And back to center ice again with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second period. Minnesota 1, St. Louis 1. Flett scoring for the North Stars. Sutter scoring for the Blues. And here is Bellows. Bellows fakes the shot and is bumped off the play. Rick Wilson feeds it ahead. Anderson to Babbage. Babbage shoots it in. 6 minutes left in this second period. A break 2-on-1. Bellows with Marouk. Bellows shoots and Liut makes the save. A bullet by Bellows, and Liut deflects it. 2-on-1 for the North Stars. They cannot cash in. 5 minutes, 39 seconds left in this second period. Harry Anderson, and he floats it out. Maxwell spinning around on the skate of Marouk, and he drills it into the corner. Liut stops it there. Wickenheiser just interested in getting it out. And back it comes. So Minnesota forcing the Blues to come the length of the ice if they're going to get it out. Hirsch for the North Stars. Cross ice to Giles. Back it goes to Hirsch. 5 minutes left in this second period. It's been a scoreless second period. The crowd chanting here in Minnesota. But so far, not getting the goal they're calling for. Exclusively on USA Sports, it's the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. More after this. 5 minutes left in this second period. Minnesota 1, St. Louis 1. I mentioned before, these two teams have faced in the seventh and deciding game twice, both of them going overtime. Here is Gilmour sending it in. Roberts behind the net. Kept in by Ramage. The shot was tipped. Gilmour fires it, and it goes high. Beaupre may have gotten it off the stick or the shoulder, and it flies into the crowd.
Take a look at number 17, Ashton, for the Minnesota North Stars. Very much an aggressive winger.
Well, his season started with the New Jersey Devils, and now ending here in the playoffs with Minnesota.
One player to watch out there tonight, especially for the St. Louis Blues. Number 18, there's the man. He takes the shot. It's a rather high shot, but 18, Doug Gilmour, he's just been very much a surprise for everyone in this league during the course of the season. Very quick, very agile. He's got great balance out there.
7th-round draft pick making good at 20 years old. 4.5 minutes to go in the second. 1-1 between the Blues and the North Stars. Rob Ramage chasing back. Being checked by McAdam, plays it around to Sutter. Sutter is checked by Ferguson, and now Mullen with Roberts back. Mullen and Fedorko putting the pressure on. Sutter scraps behind the net. Roberts brings it out on this side, clearing pass ahead, and it is Holmgren looking for Ferguson. Ferguson can't take it off the boards. 4 minutes left in the second. Ramage leading the attack. Mullen streaking along the boards. Mullen behind the goal, puts it in front, and from the point it is Bothwell. Bothwell walks in front for the backhand, and it is knocked aside, and Ferguson now comes out for Minnesota. 3:39 on the clock. Second period, Ferguson knocked down, no call by Andy Van Hellemond. The partisan crowd wants one here in Minnesota. Levy stands up Bothwell, Now with the defenseman back, but Minnesota just had one man at center ice, and that was Ciccarelli. An offside is called against the St. Louis Blues. 3 minutes, 24 seconds to go in period number 2. Minnesota 1, St. Louis 1.
Well, St. Louis have had some good opportunities, but a little lack of communication here in front of the net area. You can see, now this is twice this period, the defensemen have been able to walk right in within 5 feet of Don Beaupre.
Edmonton adds one more. 6-4 in the second, so they have 10 goals in that game. Here we have 2, one by Minnesota and one by St. Louis. Edmonton looking to regroup to get into the next round against the winner of this series here, Minnesota or St. Louis. These two teams here tonight, Gary, this looks more like the first game of a series than the 7th game. Well, Edmonton or Calgary, Minnesota or St. Louis, only 2 of these teams can vie for the Campbell Conference Championship, and USA will have game number 1 for you Tuesday night from either Edmonton or Calgary. Game time is set for 9:30 Eastern Time, and we begin the conference championship here on USA. Minnesota, the wraparound by Ciccarelli, and it is cleared out by the Blues. 2:50 left in period number 2. Reed sends it ahead. And it is Broughton. Broughton, who has had some length of the ice rushes here in this game, but not clicking. Here is Broughton at the other end of it. Liut stops it. So we'll have a face-off in the St. Louis end. 2 minutes, 37 seconds to go. Mike Liut in goal for the St. Louis Blues. And Don Beaupre in the net for the Minnesota North Stars. Both looking to revert to form. Broughton coming in with Ciccarelli trying for the wraparound against Liut. Right in front was Broughton, but St. Louis with 2-3 men right in front of Mike Liut. That was Steve Payne. And Babbage clears it out. Hickey bump, but he stays right with it. Wickenheiser makes chase. He sends it in and gets by a check by Giles. Hickey getting control, putting it in front. Comes out to the point. The shot by Ramage. The tip is blocked in front. A lot of action now in front of each net. In close. 2 minutes left in the second period. Giles plays it ahead, nearly intercepted by Hickey. Still loose. Payne has to stay out because Bellows was in the zone. Giles ahead to Payne. Payne with a man right on him, and then he flips it off the knee of Ramage into the corner. And Babbage shoots it out. 1:39 left, second period. Babbage tangled up with Roberts right in front of the St. Louis bench. Dangerous place for some of the North Stars. And Van Helmond quickly getting in with some instructions. It was about this time the other night, end of the second period, things getting really heated in Montreal. You know what that led to at the end of the second period. But this has not been a series of physical intimidation, been hard checking, solid hockey games, but the fisticuffs are really not evident in the first 6 games, and certainly not here in the 7th. 1:35 remaining in the second period. Minnesota 1 and St. Louis 1. No scoring here in this second. Roberts across to Levy. McAdam. And Delorme plays it off the boards to center ice. 1:20 to go. And it may come down to just one period of hockey, as the team's likely to go into the third tied unless one of them strike here in the next 1:05. It is Reeds. Plays it behind. Beaupre ahead to Levy. Plays it back the other way. Holmgren to Ferguson. Ferguson has some room, but an offside was called. Minnesota North Stars, who finished this year with 39 victories, 31 defeats, 10 ties, 88 points. That's first place in the North. St. Louis 32, 41 and 7, 71 points. Mark Reeds, who scored the overtime goal to beat Detroit in the fourth game in the second overtime, as St. Louis in the first series beat Detroit in 4, winning the last 2 games in Detroit, both in OT. While Minnesota took Chicago in 5 grueling games. 47 seconds left in period 2. Ramage can't get it out. Hickey has some trouble. Ashton turning in front, knocked down, and he is tripped. Another penalty coming up to the Blues with just 37 seconds left in the second period. And could it be Johnson again? Terry Johnson goes off for the 3rd consecutive time. And there's the trip right in front of the net. So with 37 seconds to go in this second period, the Minnesota North Stars have another crack at it. 19:23 as Johnson goes off. 2 minutes for tripping. He has had 3 minor penalties here in this second period. And you remember, the last time he was in, it was St. Louis shorthanded on the attack, nearly scored. And quickly it is fired down by Hickey, the man who created problems for Minnesota on that last power play. 25 seconds left in the period. Winding it up is Dennis Maruth, the crowd chanting for him. He drops it to Platt. Platt, who has scored the only Minnesota goal with a bullet shot. That one didn't get very far. Kept in by Broughton. Broughton, the tip just goes wide. It was Bellows there. Another tip by Platt. The stop by Liu. It is still loose, and digging it out is Gilmour, sending it down with 2 seconds. And now it is Ramage and Platt. Here we are, 1 second to go, the end of the second period. Does it remind you of anything? Well, let's see how Van Hellemond handles it. First of all, with John D'Amico handling Platt, Van Hellemond instructed everybody else to get away. And now Ramage breaks it up. 1 second is left. There'll be more penalties dished out. And the ice is cleared, and that should be it. So the action furious around the St. Louis goal, and Ramage taking out Platt. And we'll see how it all started. Power play for Minnesota. It is Broughton who saved it, causing the problems. Look at that tip by Bellows. Missed by inches. He had the whole net open to him. And then it comes in front. A great tip through the legs by Platt. He is knocked out of the play by Bothwell. Ramage makes sure he keeps Platt out of the play. And Platt a little bit offended by that. And he led with the right. So Mahoney looks up at the clock. And penalties will be called with 1 second left in the second period, but Mike Liut will come out unscathed in this second period because with 1 second left, the faceoff is way away outside. And we'll pick up the penalties when we get them. Ramage and Platt each go off 5 minutes at 19:59. Jacques Demers, the coach of the St. Louis Blues, who will be our guest in between the second and third periods in just a moment as the puck is dropped. And that is it for the second. The shots on goal. The North Stars 11. The Blues with 9 for the game for 2 periods. Minnesota 25 and St. Louis with 18. Jacques Demers, the coach of the St. Louis Blues, will join Al Trautwig in between periods. The score after 2 periods of play, it is St. Louis 1, Minnesota 1. And we will begin our second intermission activities right after this. He's all tied at 3-3. And we are ready to go at the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota. Maxwell for the North Stars. Again, Minnesota on the power play. Chasing in is Payne. Payne very aggressive throughout the course of tonight's game. Maxwell from the point. Plays it behind. Ciccarelli chasing it there. Out to the point it goes to Giles. Loses. And they have to come back with a minute now left in the power play for Minnesota. They are 0 for 2 in power plays tonight, but as Jacques Demers said, in between periods without Trautwig, he knows that Minnesota, during the regular season, had the top power play in the NHL and certainly can turn it on. Broughton winds it around, back to the blue line, Giles. Ciccarelli. He had 16 power play goals this year. He now has the puck. Takes the long look. He has Payne, but he can't hold on side of the net. And a penalty coming up against Minnesota for the second time tonight. Minnesota, while on a power play, called for a penalty to even it up. Not just evens it up. They will for just 23 seconds. Then it will reverse, and St. Louis will have the power play as Steve Payne goes off.
For tripping Delorme, I believe, was the call. You can see number 44 just in the middle of your screen. Well, hooking, tripping, call it what you will. Gilbert Delorme was pulled down, and this gives St. Louis a good opportunity.
Edmonton piling it on. You look at the scoreboard. They have now scored 4 goals in a row and lead 7-4 in the third. Calgary had led that game 4-3. So the teams are skating 4-on-4, but in 17 seconds, Terry Johnson will step on the ice for St. Louis, and the Blues will have a power play. They have had 2 tonight. They struck on one of them. Levy ahead to Acton. Acton, back pass, goes to Roberts. He fires, and it's wide. Right in front, save. Rebound right in front. Bellows. So Bellows has missed 2 now, right in front of the net. One an open net at the end of the second period. Acton keeps it alive. In front shot, score, Roberts. And it will go down as a shorthanded goal.
Well, a very important goal for the North Stars at the start of this third period. Watch Acton, number 12, goes to his backhand, releases it to number 10, Gordy Roberts, who had moved in from the blue line. And there again, you can see that backhand pass. Look at Gordy Roberts. Nobody around him. He walks in, has plenty of time, just rifles that puck. North Stars ahead, 2-1.
Roberts gets his third of the playoffs. It was all set up by Acton, the man playing with a bad wrist at 134. And Terry Johnson was coming back on the ice to give St. Louis the power play. It has not been Johnson's night. He could not come back far enough. And Roberts had the slot and walked right in. So it is 2-1. Minnesota jumps in front. And now St. Louis in the power play, looking to get back on track again and trying to tie it up with 1:05. Bellows also gets an assist on the play. 1:05 on the power play for St. Louis. It is Sutter. Goes cross ice and keep it for Mullen. It is broken up by Roberts onto the stick of Ferguson. Ferguson flying, and his shot goes behind the net. 17:47 to go in this third period. Sutter hits the blue line. Back pass, and Fischette can't keep it in. Offside called against St. Louis. 39 seconds left in the penalty to Payne. Bellows has come awfully close on a couple occasions, but now has to feel happy about things with his team up by 1.
Well, he really did come close. You can't come much closer than he came. Let's take another look at that goal by Roberts, and you can watch just off the left of your screen that Brian Bellows was pulled down there, but Acton just with a good backhand pass. Gordy Roberts.
In that Edmonton-Calgary game, through 2 periods, Edmonton had outshot Calgary 39-14. Well, in this one, Minnesota has outshot St. Louis 27-18, and now it is reflected on the scoreboard. 2-1 in favor of the North Stars. The winner of this goes on to play the winner of the Edmonton-Calgary game. We'd say Edmonton with the lead they have, but it's been such a crazy series. You never know. Fischette. And Ramage can't keep it in. And that should just about do it. 5 seconds left on the power play as Ramage goes down on top of Bellows. The penalty is now over. But walking in is Gilmour. His shot is deflected, and Beaupre plays it out to Payne, who's out of the box. Tim Bothwell circles in front of his goal. Gilmour overskates. Bothwell is dumped by Holmgren. And Ferguson brings it back, but it's intercepted. And Holmgren takes a run. No penalty is called there. Takes a run at Anderson. Holmgren, the backhand. And Liut stops it. Coast-to-coast coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs only on USA Sports.
15 for the Minnesota North Stars. They've shown some tremendous leadership out there tonight, playing with a partially torn ligament. Watch this body check. Right at center ice. Oh, did he put the shoulder into that one? He had another great body check right along the sideboards as well.
The save, rebound. Well, you stops that one as Ashton walking in. And now Minnesota going with confidence after scoring the go-ahead goal. Ashton circles. And here is Anderson, who took a belt. He can fly as he revs it up. Puts on the brakes. And an offside. Well, as fast as he is, his linemates were over the line too soon.
Well, one thing they say about Perry Anderson, he's one of the fastest skaters maybe in the NHL, but he does it in spurts, and that was a good indication right there. He really had a good wide open area, but he kind of put on the brakes. Here's Willie Plutt's last shot on net. It was a bank shot, in fact. Mike Liuk going down, making the save. Ashton came in looking for the rebound, number 17.
Wickenheiser and Broughton on the faceoff. 2-1. Minnesota has assumed the lead in this one in the third period. DeLorme, faced by Cicerelli, puts it off the boards. It is Pedersen. Long pass onto the stick of Babbage. Babbage fires it into the corner. Levy plays it off the boards back to center ice. Bothwell across. It is Reeds going backwards. Now hits Pedersen to Gilmore. Nobody there for the St. Louis Blues, so it's back at center ice again. It's interesting how Demers was concerned about the Minnesota power play to start the third period. Minnesota comes out and scores short-handed. It is loose. Reeds in the slot, but he is covered up by Levy. Reeds comes in, tries to dig it free, and we have a whistle. 15:06 left in the third period. Minnesota 2 and St. Louis 1. We'll pause and we'll be right back.
Helmet that he wears over his eye. He had a very serious eye injury this year.
2-1, the North Stars lead. 15:06 left in this third period. Pichette facing back, and hustling after him is Steve Payne. Ramage plays it off the boards. Sutter sends it in. No offsides. Fedorko back pass to Ramage, and he can't hold on, or rather Pichette. And there's a penalty coming up. Pichette had to get back and had a hook as Acton was ready to break away, and Acton again in the middle of things.
Very instrumental in tonight's game so far. Keith Acton seems to be where the action is. Dave Pichette pulling him down. Well, you can argue that if Pichette didn't pull Acton down, he would have been gone on a breakaway, in fact, but what a pull down. Acton's stick goes flying.
So they call it a hook. Fourth power play now for Minnesota. 5:14 is the time, so Minnesota can really put the pressure on St. Louis if they could strike here. They have already scored a goal here in the third period to go up 2-1. Maxwell passes it ahead to Payne, and he crosses over before the puck. So it's offside called against Minnesota.
One thing about Keith Acton is he also has the ability to draw a lot of penalties because of his speed, also because of his size. He may have graded that maybe an 8 or a 9 maybe on the swan dive.
John D'Amico. A couple of words with Action Acton. Remember Acton in game number 6, they thought he fractured his wrist. Turned out to be just a severe bruise, so he is playing tonight, and he has certainly been a main ingredient. He set up the go-ahead goal. Wickenheiser carrying out. Reeds looking for Wickenheiser. He was offside. 1:29 left in the penalty to Pichette. And now the effective penalty-killing unit for St. Louis with Hickey and Pedersen come in. And Acton, with a few more words right into your living room, goes off. He's always talking, huh?
Well, he's just a tremendous competitor, inside and out, off the ice, on the ice. Many people, when they made that deal involving Bobby Smith, did not know who Keith Acton was. Didn't take Minnesota North Stars fans long to be cheering his name.
He is the leading scorer for the North Stars in the playoffs with 10 points, 4 goals and 6 assists. We're 6 minutes into this third period, and Hickey again doing a good job killing penalties.
The North Stars, they're a little confused, it seemed, who was going to attack the puck carrier. Everyone was looking around, waiting for someone else to do it.
Now Cicerelli to Broughton, fires, kick save made by Liut and swatted away by Ramage. Cicerelli, he has Hirsch all lined up, but could not get him the puck. 52 seconds to go in the power play for Minnesota. As Tom Hirsch was ready and had the stick cocked, ready to fire it away, but it was deflected over his head and into the crowd.
Now a good shot he does possess as well. We saw it a couple of times in the first period. North Stars looked as though they were playing his power play a little conservatively, wanting to make sure defensively, because St. Louis has had some good opportunities in tonight's game so far when the North Stars have had their power play opportunities.
The Blues with a couple of shorthanded goals in the playoffs. It is Roberts now circling out of his zone ahead to Willie Plett, who scored the first North Star goal. DeLorme laps it off the skate of Plett, but now Plett couldn't hold on to it. 32 seconds on the power play. Payne. And Payne gets it back. Roberts across to Acton. And it just goes wide as Liut screen. Maxwell at the point. 15 seconds in the power play. Acton again. Back to Maxwell. Returns to Acton. Congestion in front. Payne brings it out. 7 seconds in the penalty. And that should do it as Bothwell clears it to Wickenheiser. And he floats it in on Beaupre. The penalty is over. The teams are equal strength. Minnesota 2, St. Louis 1. 12:35 to go in this third period. Acton looking to bust in. And now it is Mullen who turns and goes the other way with Federico and Sutter. Mullen putting on the speed, trying to get around Giles. He cannot. Mullen along with Sutter and Federico, but they can't keep it in. And now it is Bellows hustling the other way. Bellows is upended by Rick Wilson. Federico at the red line. He has Sutter on his left. Federico looks to split the defense, but he is stopped. And we have a whistle, Van Helleman, saying it was a hand pass. For our local systems, we'll pause. The Stanley Cup playoffs coming your way on USA. Just checking the scoreboard and hoping it stays that way for the next 12 minutes. Minnesota leading by 1. Ferguson with the rush. He has Holmgren, but the pass is too long. Holmgren. And right in front, Rick Wilson. Look what I got. Ahead to Mullen. St. Louis banking on this line to cash one in, their big line. Ferguson, the defensive line out there for the Minnesota North Stars. And McAdam picks it up, the pass going over 2 lines. Well, Brian Sutter finally struck tonight, scoring his first goal of the playoffs. But right now it leaves St. Louis 1 goal behind.
Many fans sitting at home watching the benches and seeing the players a little scruffy looking. That's because most teams in the NHL have this unbelievable superstition that once you enter playoffs that you don't shave until your days are over for the coming season. And as a result, all the teams we see right now still have some beards.
Well, I guess in the locker room, one team will get the champagne, one team will get the razor blades tonight. Well, it's too early for the champagne. Maxwell flips it out. 11 minutes, 20 seconds to go in this third period. 2-1 Minnesota, leading a shorthanded goal here in this third by Brody Roberts, set up by Keith Acton. Gilmore, front pass to Pedersen. He walks in, scores! It is all tied up. Just like that, St. Louis comes back. And the score is reflected on the jersey of Pedersen. 2-2.
Well, this really changes the complexion of the game, and once again it's Jorgen Pedersen. Watch Pedersen, just makes a nifty move right there at the blue line and then fires a great shot right up over the short side, the shoulder of Don Beaupre. Gilmore drops it to him. There he goes, Jorgen Pedersen, number 22. Some nifty stick handling by this Swedish winger.
From that angle, didn't appear as if he had anything. So he scores his 7th goal in the playoffs, leading the Blues in that category. One of the leaders in the NHL. 2-2 the score. And we are tied once again. Well, we said off the outset, historical precedent says we will be going to overtime tonight. These two teams have faced twice in the 7th game. Both went to OT. We're tied again with 10:51 to go. Goal from Gilmore and Delorme at 8:52 in the third period to tie it. Now Minnesota looking to go back in front, and Lovey has to chase back. Curry has scored 2 goals for Edmonton tonight, so he has 8 for the playoffs. And Pettersson now with 7, is second in playoff goal scoring. Rotten, he has Cicerelli in front. And he could not stuff it in. Cicerelli streaking in front of the net.
The advantages of a tall goaltender like Mike Liut. He just went over, made sure that blocker was right across the big pad, right across the goal crease area.
Roberts puts it in front. Backhand, side of the net. Bratton looks to stuff. Liut blocks him. Fedorko can't get it out, but now we have a whistle. Another hand pass is called by Andy Van Hellemond.
Now as we take a look at number 7, Joe Mullen, he can be a game breaker, believe me. But Mike Liut has got to be the savior of this game for the Blues so far. You can see Broughton streaking in here. But watch Liut. He just slides across, does the split, but gets that blocker, goes straight for the post area. Make sure he covers a lot of room out there when he goes down.
Well, that was the save of the game, and it saves the tie for St. Louis. 2-2. We have 10 minutes to go. There is Joey Mullen. He scored 41 goals this year, most ever by an American player. And now it is Mullen who draws the penalty. So this one is turning. St. Louis down 2-1 moments ago, have tied it. Now they will be on the power play. As Giles, with a couple of choice words for Andy Van Hellemond, now goes to the box.
Well, you can take a look at it yourself. There's that stick right up in the midsection of Joey Mullen. Giles going to the penalty box. St. Louis with a good opportunity now. Looking was the call. 10:09 was the time.
Bill Mahoney chomping on the gum. A little harder right now. So St. Louis has a power play. The Blues coming into this game 2 of 20 against Minnesota. But Jacques Demers says the problem has been Beaupre. He says his team has been dominating the area territorial. They're getting 2 or 3 good opportunities, but Beaupre has been making the good stops. Roberts cuts in front of his net. Remember, Roberts scored a shorthanded goal. The last time, no penalty there, says Van Hellemond. So St. Louis breathing a little easier. Very fortunate that this was an equalize. Fedorko walks in, but it is slapped back to center ice. Bellows, number 23, up front for Minnesota. Ramage almost runs into Bellows. 30 seconds already gone by in the St. Louis power play. Ramage taking his time to set it up. Being watched by Ferguson in front. Onto the stick of Pichek. Plays it ahead to Fedorko, the 4th leading scorer in the NHL. Fedorko, puck checked away by Hirsch. But Fedorko was there, pinned in by Roberts, who makes sure not to let that puck out.
Well, this man, Gordy Roberts, I think has been the star of the game for the Minnesota North Stars, not only scoring a goal, but also playing extremely well. He rushes out of his own end zone very well. There you can see the somewhat of a little hook behind.
That was Bernie Fedorko.
The crowd knew what they wanted anyway. That was a penalty on Bernie Fedorko, but they didn't get it.
1:11 remaining in the penalty to Giles. A face-off now to the left of Beaupre. Remember 4 seasons ago when Beaupre was just 19 years old. He started as a rookie for the North Stars. And went all the way to the finals against the Islanders. Beaupre in net for the only win. In front, it is Gancher helping at the puck, but Beaupre covers up. Harry Gancher, a cameo appearance on the ice. Played quite a bit in the first period, hardly saw him in the second, and he was right at the doorstep.
Watch Gancher in front of the net area. Number 19, he just got in front of that puck. And now he's got a good opportunity here, but just can't get good wood on it. And you notice Beaupre, he's down, he's got that puck underneath of him right now, closes those legs over top of the puck. Gantry not able to do anything more.
Gantry has 2 goals in 5 games against the Blues, brought up late in the season. Played just 1 game, actually, in the regular season. The Saskatoon, he had 85 goals in 85 games. It is Bellows coming out. Long shot, sails about 15 rows into the crowd. You ever wonder, you see something like that, goaltender wearing 50, 60 pounds of equipment, and a shot in the crowd, and the kid sticks out the hand, makes the glove sit.
Brian Bellows going down on that right wing side. When he went to take that shot, it was deflected by Rob Ramage. Now, we haven't talked a lot about Ramage in tonight's game, but he's been a very effective performer for the St. Louis Blues, not only during playoffs, but through the course of the year. He plays pretty much 30 minutes a game.
48 seconds to go on the St. Louis power play. 2-2 the score, third period. 8.5 minutes to go here at the Met Center in Bloomington. Game number 7, the final game for the Norris Division Championship. And we have an offside, so a face-off outside the Minnesota line.
The Blues have been patient all night long, and whether or not we can be somewhat critical of a lot of play in the neutral ice area, a lot of defensive play, a lot of icing, nevertheless, they are playing on the road, and so they had a game plan coming in here tonight, and I'm sure that game plan included making as few mistakes in your own end zone as possible and waiting for the North Stars to make some mistakes. I think they've done that very well.
Well, they're down to 8 minutes and 30 seconds. We certainly face the prospect of an overtime, although it's a bit too early now with 8:30 still to go, but it is tied. Here is Sutter walking in. The save by Beaupre. It lands in front, and it's gobbled in by the Minnesota defense with Beaupre right there.
I think it was Keith Acton.
Oh, Acton came back.
He was involved in the play, as he is so often. He not only works hard offensively, creates a lot of scoring opportunities, but he's an excellent checker coming back. You can see that puck was bouncing as we'll take a look at that replay. Good opportunity by Brian Sutter. You can see that number 5, Maxwell, he turned inwards to the play. Left Sutter all alone. There's some jostling for that puck. Keith Acton went high for it with his stick. Missed. Ended up covering up goaltender side.
St. Louis now getting opportunities. 19 seconds on the power play. The Blues have been outshot by Minnesota, 34-21. Ferguson, 21, scrapping for it, digs it loose, but not for long. Gantry was looking cross ice at the point. But now it is McAdam. Plays it back to Roberts. Roberts with speed, looks to split the defense, stays with it, and a save by Liu. What a strong play by Roberts, and he draws a penalty. So Gordy Roberts, with a man draped all over him, even got a shot off, and a penalty on St. Louis. For our local station, we pause right now.
2 minutes for holding. You can see why, as we talked about. Gordy Roberts just making a tremendous end-to-end rush. Bichette having to haul him down when he's in front of the net.
Great strength by Roberts making that drive. 12-13, the time of the holding, so Bichette gets his second straight penalty after Terry Johnson had been off 3 times in a row. So now Steve Payne, who has been all over the ice for the Minnesota North Stars, as has Roberts, with 7:38 to go in the third period. They have 1:51 left in the power play. The young captain, Brian Bellows, 19 years old, asserting his leadership very quickly here in Minnesota. He sets up on the right wing with Acton at center and Payne on the left wing. Bellows has been close. He has missed 2 open opportunities in front of the net. And it's cleared by St. Louis. 2-2 hockey game. Next goal could be the one to decide this series. And Minnesota now on the power play. Revving it up is Acton. Acton flying to the blue line. Drops to Maxwell. Saved by Liu. Acton quickly gobbles it up and looks. It is Roberts now. Liu taking that bullet off his chest. Bellows spinning around. Acton setting up office behind the goal. It is DeLorme who comes out with it, and it is finally cleared. 1:12 left in the power play for the North Stars. They don't want to waste any time, so quickly they get it in, but Terry Johnson is there for St. Louis, and he rips it down.
They better kill his penalty off for Mike Liut's sake, because I think he was hurt by that high shot that he took in the chest area.
Henderson gets off a shot. Hickey, who's been very effective right behind the play, and it's knocked off by a flying Pedersen and sent back in. The time, 50 seconds left in the power play. Maxwell bringing it out. Maxwell and Roberts on the back line for the North Stars, the veteran defenseman. And Liut hands it to Ramage, and he dumps it down. 30 seconds left in the power play, and the crowd now getting on the home team. 6 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third, tied 2-2, seventh and final game. Maxwell, the bouncer, but Ramage races, can't get it out. It's back to Maxwell and a crowd in front, blocked by Ramage, and now the Blues coming out. With 12 seconds on the power play, the Blues with an attack here. Right in front, score on a shorthanded goal. The Blues go in front. Mark Reeds right in front of the net, and the St. Louis Blues have struck. Beaupre beaten, and the Blues lead.
I heard this man, Mark Reeds, tell Harry Ornis, the owner of this team today, I'm good for 1 or 2 tonight. 1 for sure, he said. Well, he's lived up to his promise. Short-handed goal. There you see Reeds just gets a backhand stick on it. That puck actually goes high. Watches Wickenheiser doing a good job killing penalties. Goes to his backhand. Reeds breaks away from his check. Deflected it high into the top of the net area. Reeds very deceptive on that play because he just stayed with his checker until they're over the blue line and then just had a burst of speed. He's got good acceleration. He utilized it very, very intelligently.
Well, if they hold on, you think Reeds has scored some important goals for St. Louis in the playoffs? He scored the double overtime goal in Game 4 against Detroit to wrap up that series. And right now he has given St. Louis the lead, 3-2, a shorthanded goal. Scored by Reeds, Wickenheiser and Ramage on the assist. And it is now tied up, just like that.
Well, very unexpected goal. His second of the night. Willie Platt scoring on a long shot. Maybe a little confusion in front of Mike Liut as far as screening, but look how far that was out. Beating Liut on the glove side. That one hurts the St. Louis Blues. Watch Platt. Very unexpectedly over the blue line, or I should say red line, and then just fires it, beating Liut.
Well, Gary, maybe you're right. He could be hurting. A goal that should have never beaten him. And what a pickup that is for Minnesota. Platt looking for the hat trick. 5.5 minutes to go. Well, could be a back-breaking goal for St. Louis, although it is still tied at 3-3. I think these two teams are determined to go into overtime. 5 minutes and 17 seconds left. Chasing back for it is Bothwell. Bothwell coming out. And now it is Pettersson. The announcement of the goal by Platt. He scores 15 seconds after Reed's shorthanded goal. Bellows and Liut had some problems with that one. 4 minutes, 55 seconds left in the third period. Tied at 3, and we'll be back for the closing minutes after this. Platt scores the goal from Roberts, and Beaupre also gets an assist. And the St. Louis Blues now have called a timeout, a good timeout for Jacques Demers to try to regroup. His team has to be stunned after Willie Platt let that one go from 90 feet away.
Well, it appears that Mike Liut is all right. He is not coming to the bench for any repairs or even being checked by the trainer right now when they feel it might be very important.
Well, Reed shorthanded, puts St. Louis in front. 15 seconds to go. 15 seconds later on a shocker from center ice, but drills it by Liut. So now it is tied 3-3. Everything's tied 3-3. The series and this game. Now we have 4:39 left in the third. It is Acton trying to race by everybody, but it's battered at the blue line. Joey Mullins circling. Coming back from the shoulder injury. Fedorko with room. Chased along the boards by Maxwell. Sutter and Payne go in, and now it is Mullins. Punched by Lindgren. And we have a whistle as Mullins tries to get Lindgren off of him.
Well, that is the main line for the St. Louis Blues. Sutter, Fedorko, and Mullen. Coach Jacques Demers may be looking for them to get another go-ahead goal for them.
final score, Smythe Division. Edmonton 7, Calgary 4. So in 7 games, Edmonton moves on.
Well, take another look at the goal that has got these Minnesota North Stars fans on their feet.
It wasn't exactly the red line. He started winding up at the red line, and when he let it go, he had to be somewhere around 70, 75 feet away.
Still a position that very few players shoot from. After that goal, not a bad idea to try it a few more times.
4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third. The possibility of overtime to decide this series. Cody Roberts to Lovey. Lovey at the red line. He's going to try, but that hits Platt. 4 minutes to go, and it is Wickenheiser. Blocked by Lovey, and comes back the other way. Bothwell across to DeLorme. DeLorme at the red line, and he dumps it in. Chasing after it is Anderson with Marouk. Levy is in there. Wickenheiser looking to dig it free. Platt comes in with the stick. The puck is sitting right there, but a whistle had been blown. 3 minutes, 46 seconds as we watch the clock tick down. It was 1-1 after one period. No scoring in the second. And each team has struck for 2 goals. Each has hit on a shorthanded goal here in this third.
After scoring only 15 goals all year long, now Willie Platt has 5 goals in playoffs. 1/3 of his total production through the course of the year. And also that puts him into a tie for the league with goals scored for the Minnesota North Stars.
Tom Hirsch wheeling, trying to get away from Reeds, who looked to be the hero just moments ago for St. Louis. Scoring the shorthanded goal. Ferguson with the steal. He goes in. He has Holmgren bumped by Terry Johnson. And it is cleared out. 3 minutes, 20 seconds left. This 3-3 hockey game. Pedersen plays it ahead to Reeds. Reeds being covered. Reeds as Hirsch misses a check. Side of the net, dangerous. Right in front, Pedersen, but he can't get wood on the shot. Reeds turning with Hirsch. Dragged away by Hirsch. Gilmore. Checked by Ferguson. Pedersen skates it down. Wheeling away. Pedersen has a man in front. The shot saved by Beaupre. Again, it was Reeds right there, and he got off a good shot. Beaupre now taking it out on Reeds, who beat him minutes ago.
Well, Andy Van Helmen right there as well, seeing Beaupre take a swat at Reeds. Whether or not that will cause a minor penalty on Beaupre or not, we'll have to wait for that call. But that line for the St. Louis Blues,
yes, a penalty is going to be called. Now it's just a question of whether it's dual penalties, as Van Helmen is going over to the Minnesota. This year was the second top team in that category. They had scored 18 shorthanded goals during the year. A tie hockey game, 3-3, and St. Louis on the power play. With less than 3 minutes to go in the game, St. Louis will have the power play for the next 2. Pichette plays it across to Fedorko, and St. Louis has the big guns out there. It is shot in front, and it is blocked. It is Bellows. He has Acton cruising at mid-ice, but St. Louis intercepts. Sutter. Back to Pichette. He has room. Puts it in front. Sutter's shot, and it goes wide. Bellows clears, and Pichette can't keep it in. A minute 28 to go on the power play. 2:16 left in this third period. 3-3 the score. Minnesota and St. Louis. Roberts trying to get it out, and he does. So these two teams, which were 17 points apart in the standings. Minnesota finishing in first, St. Louis in second, 17 points away. They now battle to the 7th and final game and to the final minutes. A minute to go in the power play. St. Louis unable to get on track. A minute 46 left in the third period. Fedorko behind the back to Pedersen. In front, and it goes to the sideboards. Fedorko plays it to Pedersen. Pedersen has a defenseman open. Pichette gets it to him. Pichette back to Pedersen. 41 seconds to go in the power play. Pichette to Pedersen. Back it goes to Ramage. The bullet shot blocked by Levy in front. Chased down. Kept in by Ramage. Ramage looks. Pedersen cuts in front. Behind the net to Fedorko. Knocked away. 19 seconds to go in the power play. A minute 5 in the period as Lindgren rolls it out. 1 minute to go in the period. 10 seconds on the power play. St. Louis perhaps with the last assault with a man up. And it is Anderson flying. Back pass to Babbage, and the shot goes wide. The penalty is over. 47 seconds to go. In this third period, we are facing overtime in the 7th game. But Bellows trying to do something about that. He fires the shot, and it's deflected over the head of Liut into the corner. 35 seconds left. Maxwell plays it across. And DeLorme chasing it for St. Louis. Minnesota looking for a St. Louis mistake in the Blues in. 22 seconds to go in this third period. Liut leaves it. Anderson trying to get it out. Maxwell trying to keep it in. 10 seconds to go. As the puck now taken away by Wickenheiser. 4 seconds, and it is OT in front of us in game number 7. So it's that fluke goal by Willie Plett with 5.5 minutes to go that has tied this one up. And the Minnesota North Stars have to feel very fortunate about the fact that they are going to overtime. The shots on goal in the period, Minnesota 14, St. Louis 9. So through 3 periods of play, Minnesota with 40 shots on goal and St. Louis with 27.
Uptime, he's only scored 1 goal in 11 games so far.
Well, he's done everything he could tonight to try to snap out of that. He has been one of the effective players as John D'Amico does some housework on the ice. Jacques Demers looks calm and cool. St. Louis has to approach this. Nobody thought they'd win it anyway.
You could have heard a pin drop down in the corridors. Players just keeping their strength, not doing a lot of yelling or shouting or cheerleading.
The whole season comes down to the next goal for these two teams. Bellows being chased by Sutter. Roberts checked by Mullen as he sends it out. Ramage shoots it in. Another delay offside. Minnesota with time to bring it out. And they get it out to center ice. Ramage shoots it right back. 1 minute into the overtime. Levy drills it around the boards. Ramage with Payne on him. Payne puts in a check. Gilmore has scored the overtime game in game number 2 here at the Met Center to beat the North Stars 4-3 and even the series at 1 apiece. Gilmore bodied by Plett. Lindgren. And it goes cross ice to Marouk. Marouk, long shot. There's Plett again. He fantasized winning it all with his hat-trick goal. And Maxwell grabs it for the North Stars. 3-3 the score. Minnesota and St. Louis in overtime for the deciding game in this series. And Maxwell comes back for the North Stars. And winding it out. Brad Maxwell hits the blue line, feeds it ahead, intended for Plett, and it comes right back. This is Anderson, but taken away by Marouk. Most of the play in overtime has been at the center ice area. Marouk walks in, scores! But wait, no, offside was called. Oh no, says Marouk. We continue on.
Willie Plett was caught inside the St. Louis blue line, way over in the far right side.
And the North Stars can't believe it. They're on their way to Edmonton.
Well, take a look at it and watch number 24, Willie Plett. Now he goes to take out his man, but as you can watch, Marouk attacking that blue line. Willie Plett was a good 12 to 14 feet offside.
So we'll have the face-off outside the blue line. The Blues with another life. 3-3 the score. Overtime. We played 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Ciccarelli looking for Payne, intercepted by Babbage. And here is Broughton. Broughton streaking. He is knocked down. No penalty called. Payne runs into his own man. Wickenheiser on the puck. Scoots it out along the boards. Anderson touches it, and it was passed by the hand of Wickenheiser.
Well, Andy Van Helmond signaling that glove ahead. Face off to the left of Mike Liut. again, the pressure on the coaches to decide which center iceman is going to be responsible for this faceoff. Bernie Federko out there taking the draw for St. Louis, getting ready. George Ferguson for the North Stars.
And it's the offensive line for St. Louis, countered by the defensive line for Minnesota. And now it is the offensive line on the move. Sutter trying to take his man, Levy, to the outside, but he is bodied nicely. Mullen put on the boards by Roberts and Ferguson. This defensive line came up with some key goals in that Chicago series going up against the big Chicago line. The Savard line. Roberts. Long pass to McAdam. McAdam over the line. Ferguson. And it is Terry Johnson. He's bodied. Federko plays it back. And it comes all the way down as Roberts wheeling and coming out. Roberts picking up speed. He has had a fabulous game. And another offside is called against Minnesota.
I was just going to say, you'd have to look very closely at Gordy Roberts being a player you might select. You're selecting a North Star player, most likely to score an overtime goal. Just on the performance of Gordy Roberts during this game, he has really had some momentum going for him. He's done some end-to-end rushes. For the second goal for the Minnesota North Stars as well tonight.
3.5 minutes into the overtime. First 3.5 minutes appeared as if the players skating on eggs. They know the importance of this next goal. This is it. The series has come down to the last chance.
Well, one thing as well in overtime, now that we're nearing the 4-minute mark of overtime, you can't just stick with 2 lines, unfortunately, because this overtime could go on for some time. You can't wear your 4 or 5 best hockey players out all at once.
Well, Minnesota North Stars went to the limit 5 games before they beat Chicago in the first round. And now they are extended as far as they could in this one. Overtime in the 7th game against St. Louis. The Blues, who won a double overtime game against Detroit to wrap up their series, the first series in 4 games. 4 minutes into the OT. 3-3, Minnesota and St. Louis at the Met Center in Bloomington. Lars Lindgren, number 28 for the North Stars, rounds the net. Taken away. And jumping in front, handing it down to himself is Tom Hirsch, zigzagging out of the zone. Hirsch picks up the puck, hits the red line, and backhands it in. Tim Bothwell winds it around, takes a tricky bounce off the boards. Gilmore is bumped. And Acton to Platt. And it comes all the way down. Now the chase is on. Beaupre will get it with Gilmore right there. Gilmore making chase with Levy. Standing Levy up. Coming in is Reeves right in front. Near opportunity for Pettersson, but back the other way. Now it's Minnesota. Marouf, his shot is blocked by Randall. Platt fights his way through. Roberts across to Levy. The screen, gloved by Liut. He looks in the net. Nothing is there. The game is still tied.
As Levy got that shot on net, once again, as we've seen happen a number of times tonight, number 24, Willie Platt, was parked right in front of Mike Liut. Now watch. There you see that pass from Roberts over to Levy, but there's number 24, Willie Platt, standing right in the line of drive for Mike Liut, making it difficult for him to get a good sight on that puck. He was able to come up with it, bobbled it somewhat, but then fell on it in his crease.
Good play by Levy, just put it on goal. See what happens. We're 5 minutes into the overtime. Marouf takes the face-off from Minnesota. Federko for St. Louis as John D'Amico steps in. But first, a little tidy work. Terry Johnson points something out to D'Amico. Now removes it from the ice.
Well, good chance for Rob Ramage to get his breath as well right now, because you won't see him off the ice too much for the Blues.
Comes back to the point. Levy again. Fires. And diving in front of the net. There's Ramage. Here's Ashton. It's blocked by Ramage. With Platt lying in the crease with Liut. Here's Platt in the corner. Marouf knocked away. 3 Blues coming out. St. Louis with Mullen. And Platt with the puck again. Platt circling. Leaves it from Marouk. Dances around one man, but is bumped by Mullen. With 5.5 minutes into the overtime, Sutter to Fedorko. Fedorko with the blue line looking for Sutter. Sutter coming in front, and he can't get the shot off. A great opportunity for Brian Sutter, the captain of the Blues, and here's Marouk. Marouk, long shot, and Liut loves that one. 6 minutes into overtime. 3-3 the score. Payne keeps it in. Payne cuts in front, backhand, scores! The North Stars in overtime win it and beat St. Louis in 7. Steve Payne, the hero.
Very protected, Mike Liut. And a thrilled North Star crowd show their appreciation for the Minnesota North Stars winning a big one in overtime. A giveaway in the Blues end zone, resulting in Steve Payne getting the goal.
Bill Mahoney, the winning coach, out to join his players. Steve Payne, we were talking how effective he has been tonight. He had scored only 1 goal in the playoffs coming into this one. Mike Liut, what do you think he's thinking about now? He's thinking about Flett's goal in the third period from 75 feet out that forced the overtime. And Steve Payne, who has scored more points than any North Star in the playoffs, gets the overtime goal and finally beats the St. Louis overtime Jinx. And the handshakes, a tough series, and the two teams certainly with tremendous respect for one another as they go to the limit. 7th game, overtime, before Steve Payne ends it at the 6-minute mark, unassisted. Only his 2nd playoff goal. And it will be Minnesota versus Edmonton.
Let's take a look at that winning goal. There you see it, number 25, Tim Bothwell. He's got possession of the puck. He throws it around the boards. You can see Fedorko back there, but it was Rob Ramage, who may have been a little bit tired, took a swipe at it, couldn't get it out. Steve Payne walking right in. Whether or not Ramage may just have been too tired along those boards. And again, let's watch Ramage. That puck almost came, I guess, between his legs. He took a swipe at it. In walks Payne. Look at how Payne cuts in. Great balance by Payne. That was a sharp angle to cut in from, but Payne did it well. Going to that short side on Liut.
The thrill of victory for the Minnesota North Stars. They are extended in both series, going the maximum 5 against Chicago. And now overtime in the 7th before Steve Payne, the veteran of the North Stars, ended it. Now the victorious North Stars, the announcement of the next home game, Saturday night, Edmonton against Minnesota. Let's go down.
Introduce the All-Star players from the Clarence Campbell and the Prince of Wales conferences, the voice of the USA Network and the St. Louis Blues, Mr. Dan Kelly.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the stars of the National Hockey League. First of all, the stars of the Campbell Conference, made up of teams in the Norris and Smythe divisions. From the Vancouver Canucks, number 31, goaltender John Garrett. From the Calgary From the Minnesota North Stars, 4 players. Number 12, left winger Tom McCarthy. Number 8, center Neil Broughton. Number 4, defenseman Craig Hartsburg. Number 19, right winger Dino Ciccarelli. From the St. Louis Blues, number 10, left winger Brian Sutter. Five members of the Chicago Blackhawks are on the Campbell Conference All-Stars. Number 6, defenseman Bob Murray.